Welcome to My Conversation, a presentation of KAIL-TV My Central Valley. Your host today is Austin Reed. So let's get My Conversation started.
Hello everybody, welcome to My Conversation only on KAIL-TV My Central Valley. Austin Reed with you on this Tuesday morning. Hey, it's the final day of February 2017. March starts tomorrow. Can you believe that? We've got another great show for you. Does Fresno Ag Hardware, does that name ring a bell? Guess what? I've got the owner with me today. We're going to be talking to him all about Fresno Ag Hardware, and we actually have a customer testimonial that you don't want to miss. Also ahead in this show, Joe Perez, a local promoter in studio with us. He's got an awesome event coming up, and we're going to talk to him about that. So let's get the conversation started. My studio audience, give it up for Pat from Fresno Ag Hardware. Kicking us off on this Tuesday. Good morning.
Well, good morning. How you doing?
Very good. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Thanks for coming in today. And Fresno Ag Hardware, man, you guys have been around a long time serving Central California and beyond.
That's right. We've been in Fresno for 141 years now.
Since 1876?
1876.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. When you think about 1876, the President of the United States was Ulysses S. Grant when we opened up our doors.
Holy moly. That is, yeah, wow, it's a long time.
It's a long time.
Okay, so what's your connection?
Well, I got involved in the business because of my stepfather, John Rosetta. He purchased the business in 1952 and was downtown Fresno. He moved it over to Brown and Blackstone at the time. It's where the old Dale Webb building is. It was called Fresno Agricultural Works. Huh. And he started off working there actually as a janitor. He was first generation Italian American, became an orphan at a very young age, lived in Biola, Madera, and then worked his way up and was a janitor at Fresno Ag Hardware, and they loved the way his work ethics were. And next thing you know, he's buying the business, moving it, and after about 12 years on Brown, we moved to Blackstone and Gettysburg. We were there for 40 years. Wow. And a lot of sweat and tears in that building, I'll tell you, putting it together. Mm-hmm. Then we moved about 7-8 years ago. We had to move to our new location first in Gettysburg.
Okay, so you're kind of near the KAIL
Just right down the street.
Very good, very good, right near First and Shaw. So now, you were telling me before the show that you kind of grew up at Fresno Ag Hardware, but it wasn't really even after high school, college. A lot of people don't know you're also a chiropractor.
Yes, I am.
So it wasn't, you didn't think, I'm going to stay with Fresno Ag my whole life.
No, I said, you're working there in high school, and after school you go and work the ag, you work on weekends. But I said, I don't want to be in the hardware business. I want to do something different, and then I love it. I'm so happy to be back there right now. I think one of the funniest things, I was working there in the 70s. Sure. And worked in the warehouse, listened to the music of the 70s. Today, I'm working in the warehouse, listening to the music of the 70s. So not much has changed in the last 45 years.
You're still grooving.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're still grooving. So now, talk a little bit about your chiropractic services. Well, are you still doing it?
Yeah, I do it 2 days a week. I work at Fresno Ag 3 days a week, and then I'm at my office on Mondays and Wednesdays. In my 38th year, August was my 38th year as a chiropractor. So it's kind of cool. I went to chiropractic school with 2 of my high school buddies. Mm-hmm. And we were roommates all through school, and so it was great. It's been a good experience.
So, maybe somebody, they've heard of Fresno Ag Hardware, but they haven't been to, or maybe they've been to your location, your second location years ago. Yeah. Now that you're on Blackstone, right?
No, we're now on First and Gettysburg.
You were on Blackstone.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So, what has changed?
Oh my gosh.
At your new location over
the new location, we brought in. We have different things going on in our store. We have ammunition now. We have probably one of the biggest selections of ammunition going on in Fresno. It's kind of amazing how well that's taken off. We just recently brought in the steel product, so we have great chainsaws, weed eaters. Great, it's a great product. We have a clothing department. Most people don't think about going to Fresno Ag to buy clothes, but actually everything I have on, shoes, pants, shirt, Fresno Ag Hardware.
You guys sell it all.
Sell it all. So we carry Dickies, Wranglers, Riggs.
And also pet food? That's kind of new.
We're expanding our pet department right now, and Taste of the Wild, Diamond products we have. just went to a great show in up north for dog food, and so we're going to really expand that department. Barbecue department, sports memorabilia. It's has everything in that store. It's just amazing.
What's the square footage?
We're 50,000 square feet.
Oh.
Yeah. Our old store was 65,000, but we had a bigger warehouse. Right now our warehouse is only about 10, so we have 40,000 square feet on the floor.
That's enough, right?
Yes. Well, we wish we had double because we're just busting out of the seams right now.
So as you're celebrating your, what was it,
41st
in June, that you guys are going to have a big celebration.
Oh yeah. What we do is we have it's called a bucket sale day. Anything that you can fit in the bucket, you get 25% off. Sweet. So it's amazing. Last year it's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we barbecue for the customers that come in, free hot dogs. Last year we did 4,000 hot dogs we cooked in 3 days.
4,000.
Yeah, and it's about 105 degrees each day, and with the barbecue going, it's like 125 degrees.
It's really
anyhow,
hot.
It's really exciting,
But fun.
And everybody gets excited. The employees get excited, and it's a great day.
How many employees do you have?
We run around 80.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a large staff. That's something that you need to think about our store. Unique is that, we have service counters in each department. There's employees in each department there to help the customer. I mean, to us, the number one thing is customer service. And to me, being a Fresno native, Fresno Ag is like that's like my name, and we want to set a good example, because if you have a bad experience, I take it personal.
Well, and I'm sure that's a big thing that makes you guys different than the big box stores.
Sure.
Is locally owned, locally operated, and you're there many days of the week. So anything else that makes you guys different than the big box stores?
Well, we're a family-owned business. My mother is the owner. I'm not the owner. My mother's the owner.
Okay.
My sister works there. My son works there. My nephew works there. It's a family business. That's kind of unique.
What is your mom? How's it like working with your mom?
Oh, pretty good, because she kind of gives us free rein to do what we want to do. She comes by and says hi, and everybody loves to see her. She's a great woman, and my stepfather was just an awesome guy. It was just like was just great to grow up with him. My father's still alive. I got a great dad too, so I've been blessed to have 2 awesome dads.
And that's, I'm sure, your customers, they know you. They know you, and not only you, but your whole family.
Sure. Oh yeah. I mean, there's, the other day somebody came in and said, I haven't been in your store since I was a little girl. And she got a little teary-eyed because my dad used to bring me, and I have feelings of that, my dad's here with us today, and so it was a good experience for her.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Speaking of customers, we actually have a customer that's going to join us after the break and get to know why exactly he shops at Fresno Ag Hardware. So stick around. You're watching my conversation with Pat from Fresno Ag Hardware. We'll be right back. Hey, good Tuesday morning. Welcome back to My Conversation. I'm Austin Reed. Thank you so much for joining us. My Conversation weekdays from 10 to 10:30 right here on KAIL, Channel 7, Cable 13, 53 on satellite. Of course, you tune in with us right after Access Hollywood Live weekdays. Hey, we are continuing the conversation with Pat from Fresno Ag Hardware, and we've also got a very special customer testimonial. So give it up, my studio audience, for Pat from Fresno Ag Hardware, along with Bob Jenkins, who is actually the KAIL program director and a longtime customer of Fresno Ag.
Very long time customers.
Very long time.
My folks used to take me down there when I was a kid. It's very, how you talk about comfort food, that's a comfort store. I like going there. I go there to shop for personal items. I go there to shop for things to fix my home. And now that I'm a landlord, I've got some homes, and I go down there to get a lot of stuff to fix those homes. But I got to tell you, Pat, I know that I go into the store and he's always there. And the nice thing is, where he usually is, and the first time I remember meeting and having a long conversation, was as you go right through the front door, they have the as seen on TV
Correct.
stuff right there.
Yeah.
I think you're a fan of that, because I always stop and I always have to look at the new gadgets, right? I want to see, that's on our station. I've seen that one over here, and that might work. And he'll usually be in that area, and if he sees someone looking at that, he'll come by and he'll start talking about the different products there. I think the last one we were talking about was the one for the sciatic.
Right. That's right. Yeah, with me being a chiropractor, that's an interesting product there too.
Exactly.
So it's kind of cool.
Well, speaking of longtime customers, you have another story that we were talking about during the commercial break, a memorial.
Yeah.
What happened?
It's kind of amazing for people from Fresno to probably remember Ray Fisher Pharmacy. It's a longtime pharmacy, and unfortunately Mr. Fisher passed away last month. And I got a phone call from his nephew, Brian, and said, "Hey, Pat, this may sound funny, but my uncle just had a stroke and it looks like he's not going to make it, and my cousins would like to know if you would consider letting him have his memorial service at Fresno Ag Hardware." Wow. And I'm going, and they said out in the parking lot. This is when all the rain's going on every day. And I said to him, Brian, I'm not going to let you have a memorial service in our parking lot. You guys are going to have it inside our store.
Nice.
And they were so excited about that. So we close at 6 o'clock on Sundays, and I had them show up at 6:30. And we moved all the barbecues out of the barbecue department, and they had a memorial service there. 62 people showed up, and it was amazing. And they were telling the stories about Ray and how much he loved coming into our store. And I got emotional just thinking that somebody thinks that much of our store. At the time that you're losing your father, and you want to have a memorial service at a place that was really important to him. I got goosebumps when that was going on. It was like, and it just tells you, shows you how important this store is, and it's part of Fresno.
141 years that you've been around.
Let my wife know that I want to put my reservation in now.
I know.
What's
funny? I was at the Fresno City College baseball fundraiser, and one of my patients that I hadn't seen for a long time, he comes up to me and he said, "Hey, Pat, my wife and I want to know when we need to make our reservation." And I said, "You mean you need an appointment for my office?" He goes, No, our memorial service. We want to have it at Fresno Ag."
There you go.
It was crazy.
That says you're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly.
Local business.
But hey, how I really met you too, not as seen on TV, but you were buying Pittsburgh Steelers stuff.
My son, who all secrets out, also works on the show here, but he's a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And not every store sells Pittsburgh Steelers stuff because we're on the West Coast. You get a lot of now Rams and the Raiders.
Huge, of course.
Right, exactly. But where do you go for Pittsburgh Steelers stuff? And not only do you get stuff with Pittsburgh Steelers logos on it, you get good stuff. Yeah, you had that toolbox. I had a list of like 4 or 5 items that I had to pick up, none of which was anything for my kid, for my son. And I walked by, I saw that Pittsburgh Steeler toolbox, and I had to get it. Now, the only problem was it was the last one left, and who's the other gentleman who's a Steelers
That's
fan?
my son, Patrick.
That's your son, right?
Yes.
So he said, no, we'll let it go, because I know where I can order more if I need to.
Yeah.
But so I bought that for my son, and then ordered a tray that you had.
Oh. It's amazing. When you walk into a hardware store, you don't expect to see these things. And with us being Steeler fans, of course, we're Niner fans also, but to bring in that Pittsburgh stuff, we're getting a group of Pittsburgh Steeler fans, and they're showing up at our store now.
Every year I buy something new from there for him for Christmas. I've bought him in years past, and I saw he still has it in his room. You had the cups, the yellow cups with the Steelers logo, the plastic cups, and he hasn't opened them. I thought he would, have them and drink with him. He kept them all in the sleeves, and they're all there. I got him some Steelers gloves in year past, and so I do a lot of.
Yeah, we had bobbleheads this year with Terry Bradshaw and Lynn Swan
And there's not just Steelers stuff there. I mean, if you're a fan, you've got a whole bunch of franchises there.
Oh, yeah, just about
spatulas and so forth with all kinds of different logos on them and different sports.
Yeah.
And see, people wouldn't think that,
Not at all.
I mean, when you started shopping originally there, just maybe, I don't know if you can remember this, but the first time, thinking, I'm going into Fresno Ag Hardware, I'm just going to get hardware stuff. It's not like that.
Oddly enough, one of the few things that my wife and I agree upon, if we've got spare time, I hate shopping. It's because most of the time when you go shopping with the wife, it's a clothing store or something like that. It's one of the few places that we can agree to go on, and we all go our different ways and do our browse. So if we have time to kill and we're in central Fresno and we go to Fresno Ag and we just kind of do the browse thing.
I love it.
But
It
it's
is. You can do your Christmas shopping for everybody in your family at our store. I mean,
So-
barbecues, just everything.
I've got to mention also, shifting gears real quick, I'm a landlord. I mentioned that. And the properties I bought were built in the 40s. Now, if you go to the big box stores, they don't have stuff that fits houses that were built back then.
Right.
I go to Fresno Ag, and they have the different departments, and I use this. If I have a problem with my properties, I take a picture of it, put it on my phone, go down, find the department that, if it's plumbing or electrical or whatever, I show them the picture, and they say, oh yeah, here's what you need, this is what, and they're experts in every department, so that I don't have to hire somebody to come do this, change spigots or whatever. I can use Fresno Ag. The other great secret was the locksmith, to change the
Right.
keys. I take all the locks off the homes, I take them down in a box, put them on the table, they change all the keys for me. It's like $35.
I know, it's
And I'm
amazing.
done.
You heard it first on KAIL. Where can people find you for more information,
Well,
Pat?
come on over to see us at Gettysburg and First, or go to FresnoAg.com.
Very good.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in.
All
We'll
right.
have to come back again sometime.
absolutely.
Bob, thank you as always. And you're
Good
watching
seeing you
My
again.
Seeing you too.
Conversation. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back with more right after this. Give them a round of applause, everybody.